Is your wizard's tower a castle or evil volcano lair lacking in aesthetics? Is it all old tapestries, suits of armour, and stained glass windows? Get a grip, nerds! Master Fenrig of the Wizard's Tower itself has invented a new kind of magical assistant to liven up your fuddy-duddy digs. The all-new Ross Cooke!
Hello.
So, for Gandalf's sake, summon your own Ross Cooke and get him drawing stuff all over your demonic lair. Scrolls start as cheap as 1,200 gold coins. 25% off if you provide a Ross Cooke voucher from your local staff are us.
Can I go now?
Welcome to Shart Select.
Hello and welcome. Oh, guys, I think we've got a voicemail. It looks like an important one. Shall I just play it? Right, here we go then. Welcome to Shart Select, recorded on location from shed at bottom of Wizard Tower. This episode is sponsored by Grand Mage Gary's Gooch Grabbing Gremlins, now available in without claws and vibrating fingers variants. Yes, welcome to podcast. I am Tetris Man. Presenting podcast, and hosts are Winstolf, Ryan, and Asshole Eating Stew. Also special guest, Ross Cooke. We are a weekly gaming podcast recorded under orders from a bunch of worryingly bizarre wizards who live in a firm, satisfyingly rigid communist tower. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast service you use, and help us reach more good proletariat citizens. If you would like to contact us with any ideas, feedback, or for a conversation, then we can be reached at @ShotSelectPod on Twitter and all other socials. We also have Patreon, great communist Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/ShotSelect, where you pledge to gain access to extra drip tray episodes for as little as $2, the same cost as RBMK reactor safety equipment. Join us. With that said, let us get on with the show. Did he just do the intro for us?
Yeah, I asked him the other day, because usually it takes too long.
Oh, do you reckon he was better than me?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play. Should we ask him to do it again next time then?
No.
No,
See how much it
no,
costs.
we don't want him to get too familiar with us, do we? If you remember last time he was hanging around here, it got really awkward. He wouldn't leave the bed.
Mm.
He kept just firing Tetris blocks at Stu's ass whenever he got close. Stu, why did you keep getting close after he warned you? It's like you wanted him.
I was wanted to see if I could, beat my score.
Did you?
Yeah.
Stu's ass is so wide now the blocks disappear when Tetris man lines them up.
That is impressive. I can only fit those long, thin ones.
Yeah,
It's the backwards tees you have to look out for.
I was going to say, yeah.
Nightmare.
They're the ones that really hurt. Or just the blocks, the 4-block square ones. If they're going on an angle, fucking hell. It's like trying to stuff a bloody packet of crisps up your ass.
It's them T ones you have to watch out for.
Yeah, true.
Because it thinks it's going all right, then all of a sudden it's twice as wide.
Yeah.
And then it goes thin again. I'm
like-
trying to get it out the other way.
It's like, thank God it's just one of those straight ones. Oh my God, it's a T!
Well, exactly.
Anyway, that voice you heard then, dear listeners, was the voice of said special guest by the Tetris man there. It's Ross Cooke. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, hello. This, of course, being the famous scribe, the artist, the visionary, who drew the filthiest webcomic to ever exist. But
I
based
feel
on
that there's got to be an extended version of it. There was
Oh.
a whole section that I cut out.
Oh, wow, was there? That's amazing. I demand to see the release the Snyder Cut. I was going to see it. I might have to write a part 2 just so I can see the next comic where Ryan and Jordan have awkward sex or something.
Definitely. The more awkward, the better.
Well, definitely. That being Jordan of Grief Burrito, of course, who was the other party in the filthy fanfic.
Awkwardly discovering each other.
Yes, exploring each other's bodies. Sensually. Because how else are you going to do it, right? No, fair enough. I mean, I admit I'm just a bit surprised by the Tetris man's very professional intro there. It was very, very Soviet though, wasn't it? He had to drop in a few references there.
Yeah, couldn't help himself.
We know what he's like. Right, okay. So then, Ross, as you'll learn, there's many surprises on Shart Select. Probably the most surprising of all is Ryan's surprise, which happens every week, but is somehow still a surprise.
It's because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, no, exactly. It's like the Tetris man taking you from behind with his blocks. You just don't know what block you're going to get. So, are we all ready for Ryan's surprise, everyone?
I think so.
Yeah? Stu, you excited?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, take it away!
It's a very special surprise, this one, because it's the first listener submitted surprise.
No way!
Yeah. It's submitted by our good friends over the ocean.
Across the pond?
Overseas is the word I'm looking for, yeah. From LGA, Lit Gaming Arena, submitted this to me.
Ah!
And it's out of context, but it just gets weird enough for you. It's a screenshot of a comment. So I think it's talking about people's favourite jump scares.
Okay.
And this is the said comment. So my favourite jump scare is from Lord of the Rings, when Bilbo is like, blah, and scares Frodo so hard that they both start making out and then blowing each other 69 style. Then Gandalf bursts in. Busts in mad because they didn't invite him to spit roast. So then they start pounding Gandalf in all his wizard holes, and even some new holes that he creates with his magical spells.
Back.
That's
And
disgusting.
it's right about that time I realise I'm watching the porn version of the movie. And the real jump scare is when my mum walks into the room just as Gandalf drowns Bilbo in a river of wizard nut, and I'm scrambling to put on some clothes while screaming, I thought it was a director's cut, I didn't know. I'm not finished yet, still more. But she sends me to a gay I can't even speak, yeah. Gay conversion camp. Anyway, where I end up having so much gay sex that I somehow get pregnant. Anyway, I sold that baby to scientists and used the money to buy the other 2 movies in that porn trilogy so I can keep popping nuts that jump scare my cat.
What the
Breathe.
fuck?
Wow. So you're saying that is there another version of Lord of the Rings that don't have that?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, the normal version doesn't have the gay sex in it.
Wow. I think it does.
I'm disappointed.
I'm pretty sure it does right at the end when they give him that weird little look.
Where Boromir keeps trying to steal Frodo's ring. Give us a go on your ring, Frodo. Give us a go on your ring, Frodo. I don't want to. Leave me alone, Boromir. Go on, Frodo. I won't tell Sam, Frodo. Just following around the forest. Like a dirty little Sean Bean. Which reminds me, has anyone ever read the books?
I started them, but life's too short.
Oh, yes. The books are...
So long.
I enjoy fucking fantasy books and stuff, but Lord of the Rings is a fucking chore. You can spend 3 pages describing a tree if you leave him to it. The bark was gnarled like an old man's flesh, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, I've read it a couple of times. So I have no problem with a long book, but once I got to Tom Bombadil, every time I switch off.
Yeah, it's a bit. What I realised reading the books was they are incredibly homoerotic. Like, there's a bit towards the end in the last one where it sounds like, "Ooh, put your head in my lap, Mr. Frodo. Put your head in my lap." It's like, Sam, stop taking advantage of him because he's under the influence of the ring. That's really weird. It's no wonder Gollum's after it so much. Fucking hell.
Filthy little twink.
I bet Gollum can't bloody wait to get his head down in Sam's lap. Have a go on the penises. This is getting really weird. Hey, Stu, maybe you could get Paul to do a Gollum impression where he's trying to get his head in Sam's lap. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Is Stu still there?
I think his audio was a bit flaky.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, says Stu defiantly.
Tell me to turn it down. So turn it down now and they can't hear me.
Well, I can hear you now. You just like little moments of silence every now and again. I don't know why. I won't worry about it. We're sure we can adapt. Right, we're clever, bright, adaptive people on this podcast, aren't we?
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Exactly. Improvise, adapt,
come over.
Come.
Over.
Yeah. Oh, God. It always comes back to come, doesn't it? As Stu's famous catchphrase goes, it's coming in. Right then. So, are we ready to hit the... Because I suspect the main feature of this podcast is going to take a lot of time this week. Because... most podcasts will have a few questions for their special guest.
but not Shart Select. Here at Shart Select, we've got an interrogation. Before we finish, Ross, every aspect of your life, even your deepest, darkest secrets, will be out for everyone to see. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Good. I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what's going to happen. Say, maybe you've seen that Lord of the Rings special cut, and your thoughts will be out bare to the world.
Oh, God help me.
Not that you've been afraid of telling us your thoughts on it so far, like.
No, I'm fine. We'll see
Right
what
then.
happens.
So, how are we going to do this, boys? We're going to ask them a question each, take turns. Do you want to do it that way?
Yeah, can do.
All right then. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to lead the interrogation? Do you want to lead?
Yeah, looks like you've got them ready there. Give it a whirl.
All right then. Oh yes. Say, if it gets too scary, the safety word is meat staff.
Meat stuff.
We won't
Okay.
stop. We'll just like the fact that you said it. So, question 1 for you. Let's start nice and easy. Oh, you can't say it already. It's just question 1. Question 1. Tell us a little bit about your good self.
I'm very boring. That's why I draw all these weird shit instead. That replaces having a personality. So I just go with that.
I like it.
I am a semi-professional artist, living with a wife and a son who I'm willing to get back to after this stint in the shed.
That's
Yeah.
if the wizards let you out.
Yeah, then they won't let us out.
Well, I was going to ask, I've been going through the rest of the podcast trying to figure out, but I can't seem to get a handle on their names.
Well, the wizards. Well, we've got Master Fenrig. He's the one that pays the bills. There's Master Cumrag, who's his mate.
Of course.
Master Wizard is his other mate. He's not got a very imaginative name.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So
We
I just
tried
see
to-
that.
We tried to call him out on it once, but he actually battered us. So we've not asked him since. He's actually really hard. He's swole under that robe. We don't mess with him.
I've been trying to go through all the podcasts. Like I started with Bottom of the Stream, and then I moved on to Groove Brio. Now I moved on to you guys. But unfortunately, you guys have been podcasting for what seems like forever. So going back through your episodes, it's like I've not had the time to get through them all. So I've been like going through the most recent ones. I love the Cribs episode that gave a much clearer review, and it's helped me get here today. Obviously,
Well, of course, yeah. You found your way through. You found your way through the spooky forest. Then
it was terrifying.
did the dummy thick man try and get you?
Yeah, but he tries to get me anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. If you just clap your ass cheeks, he's happy.
Yeah, or he'll do it for you.
Yeah,
Oh heavens!
you'll even go "Vic," and you'll just like boom, boom, boom on those bum cheeks. It hurts, but it makes him happy. He doesn't mean
Well, that's
to
what's
hurt
important. No. I get that from his soulless eyes.
you. Yeah, exactly. He's just really happy to see a nice chunky ass that he can clap. If he's got one of them, happy as like in his stew, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Stu sometimes goes in the forest for days and doesn't come back out.
Just can imagine
Have
why.
clapping competitions with him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he tells us he gets lost, but we all know the truth. Well, we
Gets lost in his eyes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, who
What's
wouldn't?
in the
Man?
brown eye?
Oh, I thought you meant Stu's eyes. Those beautiful, beautiful eyes. Oh, sorry, got a bit off track again there. Yes, okay, so fair enough. On to question 2. Ryan, do you want to hit question 2?
Yeah. How old were you when you discovered, or someone else discovered, that you've got a gift for the art?
I started drawing pretty much straight away. I did go to university to do art as well, but it was a university in Doncaster, so I don't know if that counts. So I did illustration and computer game design there, and then instead of going where any money was, I decided to keep with the illustration track and just learn how to draw dragons for 4 years.
Sick.
Yeah. Then after that, like doing little bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, I was always drawing. It's a easy way to make friends and influence people if you can draw them.
Well, your short influence does. That's to say. That drawing
You've fallen straight into my trap.
fallen straight into your eyes. What? I was going to say it's a similar path to what me and Stu did, which we did. We did 4 years of college doing graphics and then web design, and then graduated and then did absolutely fuck all with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Stu will agree.
I nearly did, but then just ended up fucking up and just like not just ended up stuck in IT. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was like, oh, I'll just take a year out. I'll work in retail, look for jobs, and then 5 years later, it's like, fuck, I'm still
Yeah,
here.
oh shit, well, what's happened? I've ended up as a, not to give too much away, but I am a bid writer at a construction company,
Yeah.
which I don't know anybody who plans that when they're four, but
Yeah, it's not something you really plan, is it? Though?
Yeah. It's one of those jobs you sort of fall into, isn't it?
yes.
It's like 5 years later, yeah. It's like you look back at all the programs you used to use, they've all updated or folded, and it's like, shit, what am I supposed to do now? I think Flash is gone now in it, Stu. You can't even use Flash to make websites anymore.
Yeah, Flash is dead now.
Yeah, you can't do it. That was a major part of our second course, like 2 years of our lives, making Flash websites. It's like, fuck, there's no Flash anymore. Everyone just does it on Wix now.
Photoshop 7 was what we were using, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, wasn't it? And that 3D program where I made a teapot that was a cow but also a fish.
I don't know that one.
No, what's that one?
Do you have Maya? That was... Yeah, I did a little bit of 3D stuff at uni, but not a lot.
Question 3 then. What is the first cool thing you ever drew? For example, I drew lots of robots as a child. I was a bit obsessed.
So the first cool thing I ever drew, that I can remember at least, I went through a period of drawing tons and tons of superheroes, just going through and basically making my own versions of Wolverine and Batman and all manner of stuff and forming my own world. I have no idea where all those drawings are now, and I cringe to think what they look like. But, yeah.
Can't be as bad as some of the things that I've fucking drawn over the years. It sounds pretty good, to be fair.
It was right. It was right fun to do. God knows how many hours I spent drawing them. That was, I guess, practice, but feels like wasted time.
Yeah, so when you're a kid though, you can just sit and draw stuff for hours, can't you?
Yeah, days did seem to go on a lot longer.
We drew it. We created an entire sci-fi comic universe of some robots fighting some generic baddie in a robe that had no face.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool back then, but again, if I saw them now, I'd probably just burn them out of pure cringe. But at the time, it was cool. Right, fair enough. So, Stu, you could do the next couple as soon as I fuck that up.
Have you ever drawn something controversial and been bollocked by an adult?
No, not because I doubt they ever saw them. Like, anything like that would be hidden away, I guess.
Mixed in with these superhero drawings.
As they go through, just like, yeah, he's got ice powers, he's got fire power, he's got missive dick. It's like
tentacle rape.
Yeah, who's this thick boy?
Stu or Ryan?
I don't think I found that. Yeah,
Stu or Ryan, I'll put that question to you two as well. Yeah, if you two ever been told off for drawing something controversial.
No.
You, Stu?
I got a big, massive black marker, and I thought it would be well funny to draw dicks on top of someone else's drawings.
So, Stu.
Over about 10 pieces of paper, maybe, I thought. We were just like having a competition so you could draw the best dicks. Threw them in the bin, and then a head of year walked in, and like just as they walked in, one of the bits of paper fell out the bin. And they opened it up and like sort of just like monumental dicks just across in big black marker.
You were just drawing a prototype for the Wizard's Tower.
Yeah, I was just drawing what I saw in my dreams.
I can imagine it like a Charles Dickens novel. You, innocent boy, what is the meaning of this? And you're all like, sorry, sir, it's not what it looks like, sir. Then he takes you outside and gives you 50 floggings. Yeah. See, I got told off by my parents once for drawing a man running another man over with a lawnmower. It was very graphic. I was about 10.
Why would you draw that?
My brother was about 5, and he was helping me draw it. So it's like, don't draw that kind of thing around your brother. It's like he's just as bad as I am.
Yeah, he's got to learn somehow.
Exactly.
Well, it's better to draw it than act it out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's healthier, right?
Yeah, try and run him over with a lawnmower.
Stu, do you want to do the next question too soon as I made it weirdly personal by accident on one that's meant to be yours?
Whose art style inspired your own?
Well, at the start, it was just bollocksing around. But now there's an artist called Mark Ellaby, who's a guy I follow pretty keenly. He worked on the Rick and Morty comic. It's just come out recently. I think he's just ended his run on that one now. But you've got him, you've got Dean Beattie, who's an awesome UK-based comics illustrator as well. Brian Lee O'Malley, who did the Scott Pilgrim comics. Incredible, amazing. I mean, there's artists out there like Alex Ross, who, even though I share a semi-name with him, is like so far above the ability of mere mortals that there's not even a point in trying to achieve what he's got. His art style is completely beyond anything. But the other ones are, I'm not saying that I'm anywhere near to their level, but it's semi-achievable. You know, it's kind of like looking in the gym and being like, well, I'll never get to like Henry Cavill, but I could maybe get to, I don't know, the fat that came off Henry Cavill's body.
I think you could get to Henry Cavill if you ran past his bodyguards quick enough.
Yeah, if you were quick enough, yeah.
I don't know, but even then, I'd have to get to him, and he looks like he could choke me out with one little finger.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mr. Henry, have you seen the video that he put on Instagram?
Where he's building the computer?
Yeah.
I bet you fucking loved that, didn't you, Ryan?
Fucking did. Followed him straight after that.
Two things Ryan loves: PC gaming and swole men. Who do PC gaming? That's
Very seductive the way he was doing it and handling the process.
I think that's just how he lives. Everything is just seductive when he does it.
Ryan's wife walks in the room. Get out! Get out! Tissue in his hand. Yeah. It's not Henry I'm looking at. It's the graphics card. Oh my god! Who's reading the next one there?
Go on, you can read it. Yeah.
Okay. How did you develop your style?
Well, I gave up doing it for a long time just because, you know, put the pens down and focus on other stuff. But it's just practice now. And I found that listening to podcasts and watching movies and watching telly, that's where I tend to get a lot of the stuff that I draw now. Like listening to you guys and obviously the Grief Burrito guys reading that comic was a massive amount of inspiration.
Oh, man.
Especially when they said, Ross, don't draw this. Which,
oh, yeah, I heard that and I was like...
I mean, I immediately started taking notes from that point on and making sure that I got the wording just right. And then I spent more than a couple of minutes coming up with a good RoboCop sex joke.
That was good.
Yeah. But I think that tickled me the most was the Lantern app.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were like,
yeah.
talking about having a lantern. It was just like, okay, what else can we put in there?
That was very clever. So when I wrote it, I didn't dream for 1 second that someone would make a really beautiful comic of it. So it's like a life goal I didn't even know I had has been fulfilled.
But it's great practice now that when I listen to the podcast, I listen to them with one ear to like listen to them, but then another ear to be like, what can I draw out of this as well?
Yeah, it's difficult, that, isn't it? Looking at things from like two different perspectives almost.
Yeah. But it's been good, especially in lockdown, where there seems to be a lot more time on my hands to actually draw. I think the amount that I've drawn in the past 4 months has been double what I've done for the past 3 years.
You could fill the Louvre Art Gallery with them.
And I'd argue it'd be better as well, but...
Well, obviously, all those old paintings of Renaissance people.
Yeah, update them.
I just let Stu in there with a marker pen. He draws dicks all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, okay, fair enough. Ryan, hit us with the next one.
Hit us with the next one.
Fire away!
What's your process for creating your work?
My process is, I suppose, I was saying, like, just listening out for stuff that interests me and just making sure those weird thoughts that pop into your head go somewhere. Like I did a Mario one recently where I was just listening to some people talk about Mario and the mushrooms that he had, and then I was like, he gets big. I mean, surely all of him must have got big. And then the idea of him standing in front of Princess Peach popping one and just hearing that as his massive schlong happens, and then I was like, "Well,
I've seen that comic; it's great."
I was like, "Well, I'll have to draw that now." And so that's where it goes. Any time that I have a thought, I just go in, and then it tends to be sketch it out quickly on the. I work all on the iPad now on Adobe Fresco because it's free.
Nice.
And so I do a quick sketch, work it out, and then it's just refining it, going back in, and then adding the colours if I need to. But like with the comic I did based on Your Amazing Story, that one I decided to just do in 2 colours because I was like, well, I'm going to get this done in one night. I'm going to listen to this podcast and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go to bed until it's finished. And so I decided to save myself a bit of pain and not do the colours on that one.
It works though with the just the 2 colours.
I think it makes you focus more on the lovemaking.
Yeah, and that's what the focus of the... When I wrote it, the main focus, the point I wanted to get across, the moral of the story, is that Stu and Hash totally bang. And you got it right.
Good, I'm glad.
Fucking beautiful, man. I can't even look at those 2 anymore and see their clothes on.
It's that lip bite as well.
Yeah, the lip bite.
I have to admit, I am not the biggest fan of myself, but I did laugh when I drew the lip bite. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, you get that moment where you're so proud of your own work. You're like, yes, I'm so good.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's it. Stu, do you want to read the next one? Where did you learn to capture Stu's visage so perfectly?
Well, I did have to get a lot of reference pictures, obviously. There was a couple of days where I had to go to his place of work and his home. But after a couple of minutes of sketching in the bushes, I managed to capture that. And I think the main thing was when the line was "mighty thick boy," that gave me all I needed.
Yeah, he's like a Viking. He's like a Viking warrior.
Yeah, I'm a mighty thick boy and you were a mere strip of a lad.
Now, I've got to say, Stu did release a lot of pictures during the fappening. One of those cloud celebrities cloud accounts got hacked. So amongst those pictures of like Jennifer Lawrence and stuff, there are some of Stu. Just lay on the beds like Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, it's something else, mate, let me tell you. Again, I've got several framed versions of him around my house. I mean, how could you not? He is... what?
The shed.
Well, that's what I meant, yeah. I say house because I've become conditioned to thinking that this is my house now. I'm surprised you've not seen them. I just really lamely hide them behind other pictures and stuff. But we never leave the bed, do we? So how could you?
No.
I mean, Ross is here in the bed with us. He's looking very cosy.
It's so close.
It is.
I can see the one over there. Is it the one behind the curtain, the velvet curtain?
Yeah, don't go behind
the curtain. Is that
where
you
hide? Don't go behind the curtain. It's not good.
That's where he wipes himself off as well.
Yeah, that's the cumrag wall. Not Master Cumrag, but the cumrag. That's where Stu cleans himself off afterwards.
Yeah, that curtain's crusted in place.
Yeah, it's not even velvet.
It's petrified.
I'm petrified.
Oh, you should. Well, as long as you're petrified downstairs, if you know what I'm saying. All right. I'll stop with this.
I do know.
I'll stop with this now. All right. Next question is: did you feel a bit nauseous drawing that comic? Drawing that comic?
Nah. We're all God's children in the dark, aren't we?
It's all very wholesome, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't want to draw it if it was going to be in any way salacious or any rudeness there. It's all about love. It's all about consensual man on man.
Hot
thick
man
boy
on
on
man.
strip boy. Yeah, thick boy on strip boy.
Yes.
Action.
Poor boys from the Wizard's Tower and those wealthy boys from Knutsford just getting together.
As I was going through it, and I decided to do the last page. Like, obviously, it starts with the dark and stormy night, and then the last page after the lovemaking, the sun comes out. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely thought more about that than I probably should have.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It brought a tear to all 3 of my eyes. It was something else. I of course can't stop thinking about it. Next up, if you could get any wizard a job in the Wizard's Tower, who would it be?
Any wizard. So any wizard from anything.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I want to use the wizard Yensid from Disney, the guy who teaches Mickey about them fucking the brooms that he does in Fantasia, and I think he's in Kingdom Hearts a lot as well. He seems like he could be a right nasty bastard, and I think he could put a lot of people in place.
Yeah, I reckon you could maybe sort Merlin out. Merlin's getting a bit weird.
You might animate the bum plugs though.
Yes.
Imagine them stomping around,
Exactly.
jumping up,
marching
into
in step. their shiny heads back and forth as they go.
Yeah, that's it. If you learn that magic for the sweeping brushes, what happens if you got in the bloody opulent bum plug room? And they all came to life.
Well, the wizards would already fucking work again, would they? Oh, it's going in again. Oh, no, it's a different one this time. Oh. Try to get 3 in at once or something. That'd be terrible. Where is this podcast going? You haven't stopped to listen to what you're saying. Oh my god. We used to be about video games.
We are.
Yeah, sorry, we are, aren't we? Definitely
Jens said he's in Kingdom Hearts. There's your video game link.
Yeah, that's your tenuous reference. Screw you, internet.
See?
Well, we definitely about. We even review video games. Doesn't get better than that. Fair enough then. So, I guess next question then. What are your favourite? Oh, there you go. This is a video game question. What is your favourite video game console and game?
It would probably be. It's a bit of a throwback, but the first proper video game console that I got that was just mine, and it wasn't one of my sisters, was the PlayStation 1. When it was the original Beefy Boy, and I got my first game that I got with it was Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
And I remember playing that when I had no idea what I was doing, and played through the entire thing. Loved every second of it, but got to Sephiroth at the end, and like my levels were just in the shitter. So I had to then spend the next 3 months going and running up and down a beach to fight various monsters to get anywhere near the levels that I needed to be to fight him. But it was the best experience.
You are a man after my own heart, because that's one of my favourite consoles and one of my favourite games. And like you, I didn't understand how JRPGs work when I got it.
No.
So I just skipped a load of battles like, fuck this, I can't be arsed fighting.
Yeah,
See what the story goes
point.
like. Then I got to, I think it's the Materia Keeper boss on Mount Bell, and it kicked my ass. And like you say, I had to spend the next 3 weeks running up and down the cave fighting dragons until I was strong enough. Once someone actually explained, no, you need the experience points. You have to fight things. Oh, right.
Yeah. Eventually, I got like a strategy guide for it, and that went back and started again and did it all properly. And by the end of it, that was dog-eared and thrown all about the room while I was trying to figure stuff out. Finally got hold of what's his name? Vincent, the vampire guy.
Yeah.
Finally got hold of him and stuff like that. So actually played it properly through. And I've not bought the remake that's come out, but I'm interested to try that.
I'm wary of it. It looks like is it Nomura, the guy that's done it? It gets a bit weird for me. I'm not sure.
Well, that's the thing, because now I've heard what the actual story is for it. Like, I'm more interested to play it, but at the same time not.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I'm like, well, it's not what my childhood will be, but maybe it'll be good.
Yeah, if it's different, it's worth a try, right?
Yeah.
I like
if you're going to do something again.
I like talking Final Fantasy. These two don't play them, so it's just me by myself on this podcast.
Because it's crap.
Well, I suppose it's an acquired taste. Right, okay, well, fair enough. Next question, then, is, do you know what grapefruiting is?
I don't. I could come up with an explanation on my own, but I fear it would not be the same.
Let's hear it. Let's hear your explanation.
It feels like... No, I can't say it.
No,
Jax, no. No, tell me what it is instead.
Right, see if I can remember. It's been a while since
See if I can remember.
remember.
Really search for it.
Look, I don't normally set it up myself. Other people do it for me. It's when you cut a grapefruit in half, yeah, and you cut a sort of schlong-sized hole in it, and then a lady or whoever, or a man or whoever your sexual partner may be, puts it down upon the phallus and sort of like whaps it around a bit. Then they take it off and suck you up.
Oh, fair enough. I thought just from the visual, I thought it was going to be having sex with a prolapsed anus. Just the redness, and it's just sort of...
There's got to be a new word for that. It's not grapefruit.
I'm sure there's a term for it somewhere.
Come on, guys, let's round table this quickly. What do we call it?
I think it used to be like called Ross's grapefruit or something.
Yeah,
Rossin.
The Ross fruit.
If that's my only legacy, I'll take it.
We would call it a cooked anus.
Cooked anus.
Yeah, Ross Cooke, cooked anus.
Oh,
I like Rossing. We'll call it Rossing. No, but say there's a famous video on the internet somewhere of a lady explaining what grapefruiting is, and she's all sort of sensual as she's describing it, and you just get the grapefruit and you just cut it out. Then she gets to the bit where she's like giving the example of sucking it off the end, and she's like, it's the fucking grimmest thing. It's like, what the fuck? This went to 11 very quickly. But yeah, it's very funny, if a bit weird. You don't want to get caught watching it, but that's what grapefruiting is. And now that we've established that, the next question comes into play. It's I'm sure you've heard of Fuck, Marry, Kill, yeah?
Yep.
This is Grapefruit, Marry, Kill.
Okay.
Between Sonic, Mario, and Master Chief from Halo.
Okay. Definitely, I'm
I thought it was
marrying.
Crash Bandicoot.
I've changed it a bit.
I'm marrying Master Chief. He seems like he'd be loyal. He's got a good job.
Yeah, hasn't he?
You know, he's away sometimes, but that's all right. We can do the long distance thing. That's not too bad. Yeah. I will grapefruit Mario because he's the only other human on the list. And I need that. I've not got much left. I can't go into bestiality halfway through my life. And then I'll kill Sonic. But I'd like it to be kind of a sport. You know, he gets a head start, which will obviously give him a massive advantage. I want a challenge to it.
Just want him down.
Yeah, like I'll be in the rocket ship or whatever from the latest movie, Dr. Robotnik. I'll have one of his pubes powering it to give me extra speed, and I'll chase him down, Mano Hedgehog.
I like it. That's a really nice image, to be fair. I like the idea of just falling into Master Chief's strong arms.
Yeah, and I'll finally get to see what he looks like under the helmet.
It's just another helmet.
Twist.
he has a helmet on his helmet. His other helmet.
Or there is a rumor that it's Ryan underneath that helmet.
I will say I need Cortana to stay out of the bedroom though.
Yeah.
I don't know what their relationship is, but it's not going to be
it's a bit
happening while
weird.
I'm around.
Chief, I'm not. Could you take that chip out? But
Yeah.
she's my mate. I'm allowed to talk to her. Not when we're not when we're in bed,
Yeah.
Chief.
Not directly into your mind though, sweetheart.
Yeah, come on. It's a bit. It feels like I'm the third wheel here, Chief.
Yeah.
And then he's like crotch hatch opens in his arm and like his nuts fall out and he's good to go.
and
No,
all's
it's like a garage door.
Yeah.
Rolls up.
You never see his face, but you can sure see his helmet.
Just like, I didn't realise you were Jewish.
Best bar mitzvah ever. He takes you to the bedroom. See, we're a very wholesome podcast. We're all about love and actually responsibility on this podcast.
My ring will look like one of them halos afterwards.
Oh, okay, well, he'll destroy your ring just like he destroyed all the other ones. But if you're not careful, he will invite the arbiter to watch.
Oh, filthy little cook.
Yeah, the cook. Arbiter, you fucking cook.
That's a new sentence.
With his famous energy dildo. Right, moving on. This is where the part of the questioning where we like to reflect back on Shart Select with your opinions of us. Namely, which member of Shart Select has the sexiest voice and why is it Ryan?
Ryan's is amazing, obviously, but I do like Stu's almost silent Bob-like approach to the podcast, where he doesn't always weigh in, but when he does, it's gold.
Yeah.
And that's what I wait for.
That's a good description of Stu, to be fair. Stu waits for his moment. He's like a kind of comedy sniper. He waits for his moment.
Yeah.
Straight in there, coming in.
Sniper.
It's either something funny or wildly inappropriate.
Yes. And we have to go, Stu, you can't say that. And then we have to put it out of the episode. It happens a lot. I have to give Stu the occasional bollocking. Take him to one side, like, come on, you little bastard. Round the back and have a word with him.
The best was when you were trying to text me furiously when we were talking to Pixie for the first time. And I was explaining Saints Row guy.
It's like, Stu, no, we're on his we're on his podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, Stu, this isn't good for his. He doesn't want this content on his podcast. It's about pouring bottles of cum on people to revive them. That's where the catchphrase came from, wasn't it, Stu?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, right, so what's in these bottles then? I'm from Cornwall. What's in these bottles then? And you're like, don't say it, Stu. Don't say it. It's coming in.
No, Ryan goes like, oh yeah, it's just beer. And I was like, no, it's not. And you're like, no. It's like, come, isn't it?
It's the way it sounds so outraged. Like, it's come, innit? Like, why are you telling him it's not come? This is, I mean, with Pixie Podcast, he's considerably younger than us, isn't he? And as we were reading these questions to, we're like, fuck, it sounds like we're fucking grooming him. We've got to slow this down a bit.
Yeah, halfway through that episode, we all come to realization, like, are we grooming this guy?
It's no wonder he's become our, like, strongest rival since. He must have been fucking traumatized. When he plays Call of Duty with us, where if you teabag him, he's like, no, they're getting too close.
Asking if he liked grapefruit and where he lived, how old he was.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah. A couple of weeks later. I heard you like grapefruit. Come here, son.
Ryan with a grapefruit under his arm.
Yeah, can I come in?
I don't know about that. Thankfully, he lives in the carousel, so we could put his drawbridge up before you could get him. Poor boy. Okay, so fair enough. That was a good answer. Question 15. Which of us would you like to take on a date, and where would we go?
I would take all of you,
Aw.
and it would be. The problem is because everything's fucking locked down. We would have a socially distanced. I mean, circle jerks are socially distanced,
Yeah.
aren't they? There's
Yeah, it's
generally
arm's
a
length,
meter between
isn't it?
everybody.
Yeah.
So we would go out to a local park for a picnic and a circle jerk in the wee hours of the morning.
As Bojo flies over on his wire.
As he joins from above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the circle is complete and we summon Satan.
Well, Bojo's already there.
Definitely.
I like it. It's the first time someone's actually included me in the date scenario. I feel incredibly left out in these things. Well, everyone's all over Ryan and Stu. I'm just like, no. Finally, I'm included. I'm not bitter about it. Very fucking bitter. Right, next up.
Bitter grapefruit.
Bitter grapefruit. That's what I take to bed with me afterwards when I'm all by myself. Next question. What is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal, I think would be. I'm thinking maybe a sloth. I'm thinking either a sloth or a honey badger, which feels like it'd be complete opposites to each other. But whatever's in the middle of a sloth and a honey badger,
Honey
'Cause-
sloth.
a honey sloth. There you go. I'm a honey sloth.
I'm sure
because
the wizards can make you one.
I'm incredibly lazy, but quick to anger.
I like it. That's a good description. Mine's Ryan. I can't think of an animal, so I'll just say it's Ryan. And sometimes Stu. Depends on the mood. If I'm feeling sexy, it's Stu. Okay. What's your favourite movie?
Favorite movie? It's a kind of a boring answer, but it's the one I always go back to is Pulp Fiction. Because people always tend to go like, because I love movies. This is really opening up the doorbridge, but I have a spreadsheet. It is a spreadsheet.
Hey!
A spreadsheet of movies that I watch throughout the year that I keep as like a diary throughout it. And since lockdowns happened, I've got up to, I think I'm at 276 this year.
Bloody hell, that's going so.
Yeah, so I do watch a lot of them. So it tends to talk about like that. It's like, oh, well, you're going to have to pick something really obscure or foreign or something like that. But I suppose it technically is foreign. But yeah, Pulp Fiction is the one that I always go back to. It was the first movie that I can ever remember being like, oh, this is something else. This is something different and impressive. And I've watched it, God knows how many times. I've been to midnight showings of it in cinemas. Yeah, that's the one.
I remember watching it as a kid. I was just staying up late one night and it was on telly. I remember my dad's sudden horrible awkwardness when he realised what happens in the back of that shop. With the, with the gimp. And I was like, oh, fuck. He's like, change the channel, it's just getting weird. Me as like a little 7-year-old.
I like how you've got through all the other stuff. And then it's like, no, ass rape is too far.
Well, I think he must have just been like watching it on and off as he was like playing Lego with me or something. And they just like, oh, shit, and typed across the living room. Daddy, why is that man in full leather armour?
I think that explains a lot as you play Lego while Pulp Fiction's playing in the background.
Yeah, probably explains a lot about the state of my mind. But there we go. All right, well, let's flip the question on its head. What movie do you hate?
One that's recent, and I don't know if you guys might have seen this one as well. Ever seen the last Rambo movie?
Oh, I know of it. But I've not watched
Last
it.
Blood or something.
Last Blood, which is a clever title. I'll give it that. First Blood to Last Blood, fine. That took 5 minutes and was fine. But that movie, without spoiling anything, is hot garbage. It's just like the whole premise of it is just so awful, and the action's fine. The action's good. People getting their heads cut off and blown to pieces and stuff. That's all very well done. Sylvester Stallone, or his stunt double at least, looks like he can run, even though he looks like pounded ham. But
Stu Nash has been described as that.
as Sylvester Stallone.
Same wavelength there.
But yeah, that one most recent. I genuinely hated that movie. Everything about it was bad. In the past, Norbit, the Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Any recent Murphy film.
Yeah.
Oh God, what happened to him?
He's coming back to do Coming to America too, and I am waiting. We'll see.
Wary.
Hold my breath.
Yeah, but Norbit, I remember seeing that at uni and going out with a mate. Everybody else was away doing something else, so we decided, new Eddie Murphy movie, great, we'll go out to see that. And it was about halfway through that we both looked at each other, and we weren't going to leave because we were poor uni students. We had to get our money's worth, but we both it was shocking.
Yeah, to be fair, so any Murphy film post Shrek is dog shit. I think it's the curse of Shrek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, donkey.
Same with Mike Myers, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ever since they did Shrek 5.
Oh, 5 Shrek.
Yeah, that was on that. We got the early preview for. But...
Yeah, but that gunfight was a bit out of the blue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Donkey.
Adam Sandler the same way. I think he did those Hotel Transylvanias, although I think he was on the decline anyway.
Yeah, since I'd say Big Daddy has not been.
Although Uncut Gems was good.
I've heard that's meant to be really good. Yeah, like he's
I've seen that. That's good.
I like Grown Ups as well. Grown Ups is good.
I've not seen him. I avoid Sandler as a rule these days. If it's got Kevin James in it, it can't be very good. Is my thinking. Kevin James is a curse. Just out of curiosity, what's Ryan and Stu? What films do you hate?
I hate Alien versus Predator.
Oh God!
Because like both of the title fucking creatures in it are two of my favourite sci-fi bloody aliens, and they just fucking killed them off, basically.
It's terrible. That I always say that because of the poster, because they had the tagline, "Whoever wins, we lose." But then at the end of the movie, the Predators win, and we do as well.
Yeah, so it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's complete bullshit.
And what the wanking fuck is Lance Henriksen doing there?
Just ruining the timeline. That's what he's doing there.
Well, the timeline's already been shat all over, hasn't it? Before that cunt shows up.
The thing that winds me up in that film is that fucking Predator when he's like miming how a bomb explodes.
Mansplaining.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I love that. Do you have mime on your planet?
Yeah.
The Predator's mansplaining to that woman.
Why is he bothered about telling the woman it's going to blow up? Just bloody leave it. Go.
Yeah, why is Predator all of a sudden like a fucking good guy? What the fuck?
Yeah. And how does he manage to hollow out an alien skull and like get all of the acid out of it? When she just puts her arm in it doesn't just melt her arm.
It's just the whole thing's a bag of shit. Yeah, bag of shit.
And why is she able to use a fucking alien's tail as a weapon against aliens? Surely that would be built-in armor against that they can't stab themselves then.
Yeah, imagine if they were accidentally stabbing themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Ow! Oh, sorry! Oh, shit! Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go with Alien versus Predator as well. And the second one as well can get fucked.
Yeah, the second one was terrible. I liked it at the time, but when you watch it back, it's fucking
the second one's alright if you fast forward past the human bits.
There's that really tasteless bit where a pregnant woman gets infected. Oh, that was horrible, that bit. It's like, what the fuck? That is so tasteless. I did like the Pred Alien, he was pretty cool.
That's what I mean, the Pred Alien was cool. The Predator that they sent down was cool.
But the rest of it was shit.
The rest of it was just shit.
My problem is, I love the Xenomorph, so they lowered it to like just a cannon fodder idiot enemy. And it's not.
Yeah,
they're always better when it's just one or two.
Yeah, exactly. Like Alien Isolation. Fuck that game. It's too scary. I completed it though. What else was I going to say? Stu, do you have any more shit movies you can think of?
Not off the top of my head. Now it's loaded.
Terminator 3. That's what I can think of. I hate Terminator.
Terminator 3. Yeah, that is bad.
Yeah,
Genesis is shit as well. That one.
Oh
That's
my
shit.
god. What was Genesis?
See,
like-
Genesis was like a beautiful mistake for me. Like everything they could have gone wrong went wrong, but I
It's a
didn't
stand-
hate
it's-
it as much
yeah.
as the others.
If they got rid of the Terminator title, it would have been all right.
Yeah.
It was an action
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
It's like Kyle Reese went from being Michael Biehn, who's like a believable, normal-looking man, to Jai Courtney, who's just a fucking wall of meat with a gun. And it's like, okay.
The poor man Sam Worthington.
Yes! And Sam Worthington is already the poor
Yeah,
man
I was
something
gonna
else. Whoa, Jai. Stay in your lane, man.
I imagine like those two get together with Taylor Ketch, and they're just like, "How the fuck do we keep getting work?" None of them know.
Dean Cain and people like that. Like the kind of losers club of Hollywood.
Oh, Dean Cain. Oh, that one hurt.
Oh, God, he's a prick, isn't he?
He is. And that's such a shame. He was my Superman, and then he fucking all the stuff.
Yeah, then he became a fucking weirdo. Right, next up. Worst advert on TV of all time.
Oh, worst advert. It's one I don't. I mean, I haven't watched adverts for a long time now.
Good, he's clever.
To be fair, but the one that I mean, every car commercial can get fucked.
Yes.
Just every one of them. Nobody cares, especially because like the last time I went to the cinema was obviously quite a few months ago. I went to see Parasite.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, but it's all about the wealth divide and families living differently. And then before that, you've got adverts with like, buy this car, you'll look rich, and all this shit. And so everything like that was just fucking terrible. Every perfume commercial can get in the same.
What the fuck are they about?
So I mean, yeah. I will say one advert that everybody seems to hate, or I imagine you guys don't, is that Xbox one that with the pregnant woman giving birth, shoots the baby out, goes through the entire life cycle, and then lands in a coffin.
Oh yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, yeah, it was a bit different. I'll give it that.
Yeah, that's I'll give points to anything that's different.
Yeah. Say, with the cinema, they always have adverts for like Audi R8s and stuff like that, don't they? Like really big, expensive supercars. Do they just think rich people go to the cinema?
I don't know. I don't know who anybody who has ever sat in a cinema and just gone, oh yeah, shit, I need to buy a car.
Yeah.
While I'm here.
Yeah, whilst I'm in the area, I'll buy an Audi R8.
Yeah.
Good day, I'm going to the cinema. I hope none of those commoners are there. What the fuck, man?
I went to see Avengers and I've come home with a Ford Fiesta.
Sorry, love it. Is that all right? My least favourite is still that fucking Foxy advert where he's like, the DJ. I wish I want to strangle that bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Although all these fucking Deliveroo ones at the moment where it's like fake TikTok and they're like, yay, KFC's back. And it's like, fuck you. It's the same template for every single one. I hate it so much.
Yeah, see the Macca's one. Everyone's like fucking screaming and stuff like Macca's is back. It's like,
yeah.
Who does that?
It's like, OMG, Macca's! It's like, nobody gives a fuck. Sorry, we just sometimes use these question sections as an excuse to rant.
That's fine. I do it myself. If I listen to you guys in the car, I tend to pause you, give you my answer. None of you seem to hear me, unfortunately. This is the first time.
Yeah, we need to work on the crystal ball of it. It just needs tuning. We can spy on the wizards with it, but we can't hear anything else. We'll work on that. So, last question, the most important question, to be fair. Do you think you could take Ryan in a fight? You're allowed tridents and nets.
Am I allowed tridents and nets?
Yes.
I was going to say, well, all right, then definitely not. I mean, even with a trident and net and possibly him asleep, I don't think. I mean, at the moment, as I say, I'm 40 hours into a 48-hour fast. I couldn't go up a big flight of stairs at this point. So no, definitely no fighting.
Fair enough. To be fair, Ryan does know Systema. He can disarm me. He's shown me many a time.
I would possibly the move I've always thought about doing if I was ever in a situation like that was just to run at somebody full pelt while masturbating, and that would hopefully, I mean, at the very least, that would distract them for a minute while I got in.
Ryan would be like, "What are you doing?"
Exactly.
Close.
Not about that. Have a piece of this.
Your fear is making me come quicker.
Right, but what would you do if Ryan just ran towards you? Arms outstretched.
matching my masturbation.
Yes.
I just dropped his pants and bent over.
Yeah,
screaming, "I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing."
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
I love how Shart Select becomes so homoerotic after a while. It's fantastic. We celebrate everything on this podcast, don't we? So, fair enough. That was the questions, Ross. Well done, you survived.
Thank you.
How traumatized do you feel?
Half.
Half. Guys,
Half.
we need to work
Half are
harder.
traumatized.
We need to work harder. Right.
It's
so
like
next up-
it's like I've been bundled into the back of the van, but I've not reached the second destination yet.
Well, okay, there's time for that later. And then Stu will jump in the back wearing his fox mask. And things get really interesting. Foxy Stew. Right, so yeah, like a dogger. I'm going for yeah. Right, so next up is we have to visit the Wizard's Tower using the crystal ball to see if the Wizards are reviewing any games today. Ross, if you want to disguise as a wizard and go up there and join them, you can do.
I'll give it a go.
All right, here we go. Let's just go activate the crystal ball.
Somewhere in the dark and nasty regions where nobody goes stands the Wizard's Tower. Deep within this dank and uninviting place works Shart Select.
Hello.
Overworked employees of the Wizards upstairs.
Stuart, milk me.
But that's nothing compared to horrors that lurk beneath the trash door. 'Cause there's always shit games down there. In the dark. Waiting to come out.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, comrade. Oh, hello. Who are you?
The wizard. Big balls.
Oh, very good. Well, I remember you from high school, I think. I hope you didn't tell
I
anyone.
was wizard small balls then. I am wizard big balls.
Yes, I didn't recognise you without the wheelbarrow holding your balls up.
Don't tell anyone what happened in the locker room in year 5, please. So, as you know, Big Balls, or maybe you don't, we like to review a video game every week up here for reasons. It's a tiering system. We've got trash at the bottom. We've got meh. We've got, I think it was okay next, was it? And then we've got good. And then we've got thick. And then we've got wizard at the top. Shart is the one underneath wizard. The second best one, thank you. Okay, who wants to review a game first? Should one of maybe Cumrag or Master Wizard should do it just to remind Big Balls how it works.
Yes, I can review a game for you.
Go ahead, son.
I can't believe we haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do Time Splitters, a Future Perfect.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the final part of the trilogy. It was a good game. Finished. It was released on the original Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube.
Yes.
The Game Square.
Yes, the Game Square.
Yes. And you played as Sergeant Cortez, or Vin Diesel in the real world.
Yes, definitely Vin Diesel.
And it was funny. It carried on from the second one about these aliens that took over the planet via changing our history in time. Time splitting, as you will.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to put it thick.
Oh, I think it deserves to be thick, because it was a thick title. Yes. It was a first-person shooter, wasn't it?
Yes, first-person shooter. And it had a very good multiplayer with over 150 playable characters.
One of them was a glove.
Yes. And level creators as well. You can make your own story mode.
Were there any
Very
wizards?
Good. Yes, there were.
Oh, very good. I think it deserves the thick rating then, yes. Master Cumrag or Master Big Balls, who wants to go next?
I can go next. I'll put Carrion on the tiering system.
Oh, yes.
It's a pixel art indie game where you play a big, meaty alien thing who crawls around the sewers and has to consume people to grow bigger.
Ooh.
But I'm kind of lost on it because there's no waypoints, so I've put it down and uninstalled it. So it can go in the okay tier.
Very good. That's a good idea. Anything else you want to say on that, or are you happy with that?
I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, if you're into Metrovania games and they're going back and to between different levels and different screens and maps and things, you could probably get into it. But I get tired of it. If it doesn't tell me where to go, I'm not interested.
Fair enough. That was very nice. Thank you, Master Cumrag. Master Big Balls, do you fancy a go?
Yes, my latest game that I'd like to review is Far Cry Primal. One of the excellent Far Cry series. I don't know if you boys have reviewed it on here as of late.
Not yet, my friend, not yet.
It came out 4 years ago. I'm a little bit late to the game, but I couldn't see it over my massive balls.
Well, that's fair. They are colossal.
I played it recently, and I have to say it's very good. All the
Yes,
action
it's
you get
different,
from it's very different. All the action you get from a regular Far Cry game, but instead you've got jock-off spears and big fucking flaming arrows.
Yes, and you can ride the tiger like Dio in Holy Diver.
There's so many things you can ride in it. You can ride from the great mammoth to taming a tiny little honey badger to sick them on your enemies.
That's
And
very good.
there is a wizard.
A wizard?
There's a wizard. It calls him a shaman, but it's a fucking wizard.
Yes, they're all wizards, really. Bloody hipsters.
So I would rate it a good to Shart.
Okay, very well.
So that's thick then.
Yes, let's see.
We'll call it thick.
Good to Shart. Thick is in the middle of those two tiers.
Very
So
good.
I guess it goes in there.
No, good to Shart.
Ride the tiger. You can see his stripes, but you know he's clean. Sorry, I was doing Holy Diver. For my choice of game, let us go back to the era of the PlayStation 2 and review the movie tie-in, or the video game tie-in of the movie, The Thing. Did anyone ever play that one?
No.
It was it was a survival horror sort of title, as a sort of sequel to the John Carpenter movie, where you and a squad of soldiers have to try and get through thing-infested Arctic laboratories. But here's the twist. Here's the twist. Your allies could turn into things at any time themselves. I had a medic for like 3 levels. He was my best man. Then all of a sudden he starts going like mutating out, and all claws coming out of him, and I had to kill him with a flamethrower. It was very tragic. It was also really quite spooky. A very good horror game. It wasn't made by Capcom, despite someone that Master Cumrag went to wizard school with saying that he made it for Capcom. That's not true at all. Remember that one, Master Cumrag?
Ah, yes, Ashbrook. Made the whole game himself. Sent it on a floppy disk, but unfortunately it got corrupted when it arrived at Capcom.
To be fair, he did well to compress it to 3.5. What's it, 4 megabytes or whatever?
3.14 meg.
That's it, yeah. 3.14 meg. He did a good job there. What a silly twat. But yes, The Thing is very good. I would possibly say it belongs in the thick tier as well, you know. Because The Thing is very thick. But the movie, if there was a movie tiering system, would be Wizard, because it's one of my favourite movies. I like the bit where the man... Yes, I like the bit where the man's head grows spider legs and crawls off. And Keith David says, "You gotta be kidding me," and then he flamethrowers it. That bit is great. It makes me hard every time I watch it. Well...
Keith David went on to become the president in Rick and Morty.
Yes, and he was also the Arbiter in Halo.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of work, that boy. Anyway, let's go back to the shed and see what those cunts are doing. Oh. Did they know they're watching us, or did they just say that? And Ross, was that you disguised as Master Big Balls, or was Mr. Big Balls his own person? I couldn't quite work it out.
Master Big Balls is actually my second cousin, twice removed.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Ross didn't leave. He's tucked in bed with Stu.
I can't watch when the wizards are doing their thing. They make my eyes hurt. I have to hide.
We're having a nice cuddle.
Yeah.
Well,
Stu protects me from the bad things.
He does that because he's a mighty thick boy. He protects mere strips of lads. That's evidence in the wonderful webcomic that you drew. Which brings us round full circle, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we've reached the end of this journey, really. Ross would like to thank you very much for coming on. You've been an excellent guest.
Thank you for having me. I hope one of you can show me the way out.
Well, ask Stu.
Well, if you find it, let me know, because I want to leave too.
I think it's something to do with the spooky woods, but we always just get lost and then get dubby thick banned if we go in there. It's like he's got a homing device or something on us. But yeah, best of luck getting out. Say thanks for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thanks for joining that webcomic.
Before you throw it out, why don't you let Ross promote himself a little bit first?
Very good idea, Stu. This is why we have you around. Go ahead, Ross.
Promotion. Come find me on the internet at Ross Cooke Comic Art. I'm pretty much that everywhere, but mainly on Instagram. Twitter is a cesspit of hate, so I can't stay on there for very long. Instagram is generally where you'll find me for any stuff like that, and that's got all my links to Etsy and Threadless. You can buy me wares. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
Very good. Come find him, or find him and come. It's up to you. Well, there we go.
Find it, yeah. Come on.
Whoa, Stu. That's
What?
later, after we finish recording.
Oh, right, okay.
And you're changing the bed sheets this time. It was
Change
slick
bed
last time.
sheets?
It was slick. Yeah, there's a spare one in the cupboard. I think it's nearly as bad, but fuck it. And so, that brings us around to the end of the podcast, in which case we ask Ryan to deliver one of his usual brutal outros.
Brutal outro.
Brutal outro!
Yeah, so you've been listening to Shart Select. You can join us if you like on Twitter at Shart Select Pod, but we're also the main thing on Patreon. www.patreon.com/Shart Select, where it's only £1 to join, $1 to join the little tier. Or if you want to join and listen to the drip tray content and bonus stuff and gubbins, it's only $2 a month now. It was $5, it's only $2.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. We've also got Ross Cooke on as well today. Bye.
That was beautifully done, yeah. Beautifully done. Please check out my own website. It's www.winstallportal.blog. I write things. And Stu is... are you still knocking around on Twitch, Stu, doing Twitchy things?
Now and again.
No, you don't. Are you still doing the D&D thing?
Yeah. Not done it for a couple of weeks just because stuff's been going on. But yeah, Friday nights, 8 PM, twitch.tv/Glitter Inc. And Saturdays, I'm doing a side thing with Pixie at the moment. Where you talk about news stuff. News dump.
And on that note, thank you once again, Ross, and goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I've already signed out, but yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.